I've done one or two videos about the student debt bubble, and it wasn't all that long ago that I remember doing a video saying how it's now basically $1 trillion of student debt out there, and a good portion of that, actually a decent amount anyways, is delinquent. And being delinquent and all lets you know where our economy stands, where the job stands. So if these numbers that we keep seeing, 8.9 and 8.7 unemployment, there's no way that there would be a huge spike in delinquent student loans. I mean, right? Obviously, that couldn't happen. So it's thanks to Zero Hedge here. Student debt bubble officially pops as 90+ day delinquency rate goes parabolic. We have already discussed the student loan bubble and its popping previously, most extensively in this other article which he links to. Today we get the Q3 or quarter 3 consumer credit breakdown update courtesy of the New York Fed's quarterly credit breakdown, that report. And it is quite ghastly. As of September 30th, federal, not total, just federal, rose to a gargantuan $956 billion, an increase of $42 billion, and I'm talking dollars, in the quarter. An increase of $42 billion in the quarter. The biggest quarterly update since 2006. But this is no surprise to anyone who read our last piece on the topic. What also shouldn't be a surprise, at least to our readers who read about it here first, but what will stun the general public are the two charts below. The first of which shows the amount of 90+ day student loan delinquencies, and the second chart shows the amount of newly delinquent 30-day student loans. The charts both speak for themselves. Proud to be an American, fight for the rights of every man. You can see that spike. I mean, you can see this spike. Both of them. The 90-day and the new 30-day. Massive spike. So he says this is how the Fed describes this, quote, anomaly. Yeah, okay. And here it is. Outstanding student loan debt now stands at $956 billion, an increase of $42 billion since last quarter. However, of the $42 billion, $23 billion is new debt, while the remaining $19 billion is attributed to previously defaulted student loans that have been updated on credit reports this quarter. As a result, the percent of student loan balances 90+ days delinquent increased to 11% this quarter. And he says, oh, and from footnote number 2, it says, as explained in a Liberty Street Economics blog post, these delinquency rates for student loans are likely to understate actual delinquency rates because almost half of these loans are currently in deferment, in grace periods, if you will, or in forbearance, and therefore temporarily not in the repayment cycle, or not counted as that. This implies that among loans in the repayment cycle, delinquency rates are roughly twice as high. He says, we'll let readers calculate on their own what a surge in 90+ day delinquency from 9% to 11%, or based off of footnote number 2, is about 22%. In one quarter, in one stinking quarter, on $1 trillion student loan, what that actually means. For those confused, read all about it in this September article, which he links again, called the Next Subprime Crisis is Here, over $120 billion in federal student loans in default, which predicted just this thing. And so it's official. Pop goes the student loan bubble as just confirmed by the Fed. And guess what? Student loan debt is not dischargeable via bankruptcy. It goes with you to the grave. You cannot get out of it. Having said that, where our country's heading, I've got a sneaky suspicion, and unfortunately it may not be any time in the real near future, but based on this, it's not sustainable. I don't think these will ever be collected, and Congress will some point after the collapse, or sometime, maybe if we're lucky before or during the collapse, maybe if we're real lucky. And they're going to say, oh, by the way, these student loans, we're going to just wipe those out. All those delinquent loans, let's just wipe them out. Not sustainable. But you see, if they do that, the ones that have been paying will say, well, hey, wait a minute, whoa, what about me? So what probably will happen is that they're just not going to come after you for the money. And those of you who don't pay, you just don't pay. And those of you who do pay, it's good for them. They're collecting some money. There's no way they're going to be able to get the money from all these people when we're at $1 trillion in student loan debt. And I mentioned I had talked about this before. And I remember also stating that I believe, stating in the prior videos a while back, I believe the student loan debt, or that bubble, is now greater than the credit card bubble. I believe there's more student loan debt than credit card debt. I think. That may have been one of the videos I did, which is incredible if that's true. I just can't remember because it's been such a while. Nonetheless, both are outrageous. So this is our country. This is our economy. This is our recovery. This is the 8.7, 8.8% unemployment we've been told about, which was a lie. You cannot have that minimal unemployment levels with these charts showing you these other numbers. That goes to show you that the old model they use to do unemployment and say, oh, well, these people just fell off the list because we think they found a job, and we don't calculate them after a certain amount of time of them not having a job, so we just assume they found a job, they get off that list. I mean, why does the government have to lie so bad? Why is it so important that they give us these fake, bullcrap, disgusting numbers that are not even close? How does it matter? How does it matter if it's really, let's say, 17% unemployment versus what they tell us, let's call it, around 9%. Well, as a matter of fact, let's make it 18% and 9% just so we could double it. 9% is what we're being told. The reality is 18%. Let's just say that's the real numbers. What actually changes? What really happens when they tell the truth and say we're actually at 18%? All it is kind of like saying, hey, this guy, we thought he was good for his money. We thought this was the good guy. We thought this was the, the beacon of hope and light and everything of the world. Hey, man, they're in dire straits too. It just allows us to give the world an illusion that we're still strong and we're still powerful and we're still the greatest country and we've still got the greatest monetary system and the dollar ever. When in reality, those numbers don't lie, and the other stuff I tell you about is not a lie, which just lets you know, again, gold and silver are something you want to possess, in physical form, because those things will always go up. And this whole thing about the fiscal cliff and all that crap, but by the end of the year, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Trust me, they're going to come to an agreement, and we're going to keep printing money. They can talk about spending cuts and tax rate. Doesn't matter. The debt ceiling will be raised again, no matter what. So all this talk about fiscal cliff and this and that doesn't even matter. I would not even be concerned, not even kind of. So on that note, take care.